Afternoon, everyone. This is Louise. I'm not on the front of the camera today. I've come down with some awful viral flu-y nastiness. I've spent most of the morning in bed, most of last night in bed, which is clearly what I needed because I am feeling better. But I'm not going to show my face because I don't want to frighten people. And it is a little bit like The Walking Dead at the moment. What's going on in my body is definitely reflected in what's on my face. So I thought instead of you having to watch me and look at me, I would introduce my Mesa as it is currently. So we've just done another round on the medicine wheel. It's been really, really incredible time, very transformative. And as some of you who've been following me may have noticed, I have a bit of a thing about particularly Keru textiles, although textiles from all over the world fascinate me. I think I have that from my mother, who's always been into fabrics and the textures and the colours. So this is my Mesa. Now, a Mesa, for those of you who don't know, is effectively an energy bundle. It's a bundle of 13 stones that we work around the wheel. So you get 3 stones in each direction and then an extra stone in the north, which links you straight into the lineage of the medicine. Now I've been through several cloths. This is my Mestana, which I just love. I've never seen a cloth like it. I can't believe it's come to me. It's just so beautiful. There's a whole journey with the cloth. So this is the heart line here, which I'm still doing some work with. There seems to be a bringing in, a conjoining of 2 separates to create a whole. So I think the message with this heart line is nothing is separate. We're all as one. And that's really lovely. So then I have a very complicated Watana, which is the tie. I'm no expert in this. This is still a journey that I'm going through. But I'm going to open my Mesa up so that you can see. Now, I forgot about this. This is my first inner cloth. Now, this is completely new. I've been on another wheel at the moment. Well, not at the moment, I've just finished it. When we stepped on in the south almost a year ago, this cloth was sat on the table. And I looked at it and I thought, well, that's kind of the size that I want. I was having issues with my inner cloth, deciding that it didn't want to hold my stones. So it's been sat there and I looked at it and I had this whole this whole drama in my head about, oh no, it doesn't match my Mestana, it can't be right, it can't be right. No, I'm not having any of that. So I've ignored it. But there's been a little kind of, it's been sat on the table every single time we come back. It's been sat there and sat there. Come and have a look. And actually, the pattern, this undulating, beautiful in and out, the breath in and out of the cloth is echoed. And I've not noticed that, which is why I do these videos, because quite often when I ramble, I notice stuff. So it's a good journey for me as well. And the heart line, if you match the undulation of the cloth, this in and out, which I have a book with me actually, which I'll share with you in a minute, but this undulating pattern, the sort of in-T kind of pattern, which is to do with the sunrise and sunset, it's echoed here. So there's a real, the sun rises and the sun sets, the sun rises and the sun sets, this beautiful cyclical nature of the fabric. It's also the breath in and out. And it's not just our breath in our lungs, it's that pranic energy, the breath in, you're bringing in the potential and breathing out what you have to offer into the world. So I think that's really powerful. So this is my new cloth. I finally succumbed to its charms on our last part of the wheel in the east. It's very old, apparently. I know very little about it, but I know that it's old. I like the fact that it looks different on the outside. I like the fact it's got the Koichi the rainbow as well. It's a big thing for the Keru people. And then this before this came in, I had this as my inner cloth, which Wake Wheeler very kindly found for me. I was having a bit of a meltdown because my original inner cloth would not hold my stones after my second south that I did. It just decided that no, it wasn't going to hold my stones. I'm going, no, it's not working. I can't cope. And there's all this big drama about it. Anyway, Wake found me this 4/4 cloth, and I'm going to show you this book now. Mentioning Wake, this is an amazing book. Not just about chumpy stones, but actually there's this whole thing about the textiles. So if you want to learn a bit more, there's a nice little section here. It's not just Wake, it's Drake Bear Stephen as well, who's lovely. I've spoken to him briefly, had a question that I put to him, and he was very helpful. But anyway, I wanted to show you this, the Tawintin Suyu, and I'll read it to you because this is what this cloth's about. The Tawintin Suyu is the 4 regions of the Inca Empire. Tawintin is also the harmonic union of 4 separate energies. The inclusion of all parts makes the whole stronger. A 4-panel cloth consists of 4 solid colours on the textile. It represents foundation and stability. The 4-panel cloth represents foundation. It can be used to connect to the energies of organisation and stabilisation. So, reading that, with this dancing, energetic thing we've got going on with these 2 cloths, this anchors it all in. This ensures that, you know, whilst we can dance and we can undulate and we can breathe out into the universe what we need to breathe out, we also keep the foundation of it so that we don't lose control. Or that's my sense anyway. It's very interesting seeing them all layered like this. Just kind of feeling the energy of it. And it's actually helping my body to settle, which is very interesting. And this is the thing, we grow relationships with our mesas, and they're very, very interesting to observe. So we have these 3 cloths, and it takes me back to a discussion that I had with Wake about the llamas of Peru. So generally the llamas are used for the textiles. Their wool is sheared. There's this whole thing about the textiles anchoring us into the land that they've come from. So any textile from the Keru people, generally it's llama wool. It takes a real beating. It's hard wearing. It's practical. So again, this foundation is practical. It's hard wearing. It will stabilise. It will create stability and order and structure on which to grow other things, on which the higher energies can sit. So you have the llamas, and then you have the alpacas, who live higher up, and they're a little bit more wild, a little bit more free. Their fur, the fibres that they produce are finer. They take less of a beating. You've got to treat them with a bit more care and a bit more nurturing. So here we go. Llama, alpaca. This is probably made of llama, by the way. This is just an energetic thought I'm having. So this represents the alpacas. This next step up, going a bit more up the mountain now. You know, so you could kind of go Pampa Masayuk, Alto Masayuk. So the earth keepers, those who go up into the mountains, those higher spiritual beings who work with higher energy. I'm trying to put this into terms that people who haven't trained on the wheel can understand, because I understand that there's a lot of technical jargon, and my other half always says you speak all sorts of nonsense. I have no idea what you're saying, so just don't bother. So I'm trying to make it relatable. So yeah, llamas, alpacas, and then you have, please forgive me if I haven't pronounced this right, but I believe they're called vicuñas. So real wild small llama-like creatures that live way up in the mountains. They are untamable. You cannot tame them. The Keru, or some of the Keru, have enough of an understanding and an energetic relationship with them that they can actually bring them down and shear them and then release them again. Their wool is incredibly fine. I think it's considered one of the finest fabrics on the planet. So it's the energy shifts again, this fineness. It's like a refined, a delicate, it's almost is and isn't, which takes us into the Kurakakuyak energies. Or that's my interpretation of it anyway. Someone else might have a different thought. But now I've got these three cloths together, all of a sudden this doesn't upset me as much as it used to. I used to look at it and go, oh, it's just all green and orange and yellow and it looks really dull. Now I've got it where I hate the word should, but where it feels right being between these two cloths. And quite often with the textiles, you don't see their true beauty until they're with the right person, or in the right place, or being used in integrity. So all of a sudden this cloth doesn't look dull and horrible to me. I can see all of the rainbow in it. I can see the energy. It's almost like there's something going on with serpent here as well. I can see a serpent running through the fabrics, but that's just how that speaks to me. A serpent and the rising and setting of the sun. Yeah, fascinating. So yeah, this is my Mesa, and I think this is my Mesa currently in its completion, although they evolve over time. Our relationships with them evolve over time, as our relationships with ourselves do, and that's the whole point. The Mesa is us, we become it. So these stones, all of the gifts that we've tracked, they hold the gifts. So we work our this is the thing, on our east. We worked all of our medicine over the course of the year, and obviously I knew what was going to happen, but for those who didn't, it was a shock. We work our medicine, it's blood, sweat, tears, it's deep diving. You go to the darkest places that you don't want to go to, and you go in order to set yourself free from it, basically. So it's hard work. It's really, really hard work, if you choose to put yourself into it completely. So we're all sat there after we've brought our East stones back, and our lineage stone is part of the East. Actually, when you get to it, it becomes an East stone. So we bring all our mesas back. They're all open. We're in a mesa mastai. Everyone's going, oh, look at your stones. Oh, look at your mesas. It's beautiful. We're finally full mesa carriers, and we've got all our medicine. So then Chris, our teacher, goes, right, what's about to happen is the greatest gift that any shaman can gift you. And essentially, I won't spoil it for people, but our medicine gets whisked away. It just goes, bye-bye. That was tough. There was part of me that thought, yeah, okay, I'm cool with that, because actually the medicine that those stones were holding was still associated with issues that I'd had. So I'm kind of okay with it. This is kind of like a wiping of the slate. There was also part of me that was obviously quite attached. I was like, no, this is really bad. It's not bad at all, because actually what you do is you go and track the brand new, vibrant energy of your medicine. Because that's another transitional path. It's another rite almost that you go through. This final, you thought that's what you had, but no. Go find what's truly yours. So we did. We tracked the energy of the stones, and some of them are the same. This one's always been a knowing stone. That was always the energy of it, and it still knows. And of course, the stone doesn't know. I know. So it's my knowing. And often I tell myself, well, I don't know that. And that stone's very good. If I need a bit of reassurance, I can just sit with it or stand with it and tune into it. And I think, well, actually, yeah, I do know. And there's a deep knowing in me, a knowing of where I've come from, a knowing of who I am, a knowing of my place in the world. So it's actually it's big medicine, huge medicine. So yeah, I thought while I was feeling up to it and a bit more energised, and I had an hour or two just to do something, I would do something worthwhile. And I mean, as always on these videos, I'm keen to share, and I love seeing other people's mesas. It was quite a fun game actually, getting to know other people's mesas. So we had them all around the candle in the middle of the room at the altar. You just kind of look and you go, well, that's incredible, isn't it? Because all these mesas are speaking to each other as we are. There's this whole connection going on. And yeah, it's just a beautiful experience for those of you who've not been on the medicine wheel. I thoroughly recommend that you check out the Four Winds. If you're in the UK, Spirit of the Inca is a superb school. Chris teaches in such integrity. She's worked with Alberto for years. And that's the thing, you know, this whole you've got to do it right. Well, I know there are some people that kind of do the whole, well, I come from my heart, so it doesn't matter. Well, when you're working with people's energy, it absolutely does matter. You have to be sure that you are working in integrity and that you can hold space. So I would thoroughly recommend doing some official training if you're thinking of stepping into this path. If you do step into the path, your life will change. It will be not as it was, and you will not be as you were before, but you will be something even more vibrant and even more beautiful. So yes, lots of shameless plugs today. If you want to know more about the textiles, then Wake Wheeler is your man in the US. He is sacredpathways.us. He and his wife Kinlan run a beautiful space together, and I'm so hoping that at some point I can join his Shaman Summit somewhere in the world. I'm kind of hoping that at some point we'll see him in the UK, because I think he's got his own medicine to offer. There's also a lovely lady, I don't even know her name, not that it matters particularly, but Swedish shaman. I just love seeing her posts, so if you haven't followed her already, then I would recommend following her. She obviously clearly creates some stunning medicine and some stunning spaces, and yeah, thank you so much, Swedish shaman, for your beautiful posts. So yes, if you have a Mesa, please feel free to share it in the feed. Please feel free to share it to the world. I love connecting Mesas. I love hearing people's stories, people's journeys. And yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on a very base level today. As my brain has only so much capacity today, so I'm, as you can probably hear, not feeling my best. But speaking about this, being with my Mesa has actually given me some energy, which is good. It's a healing thing. Yeah, so hopefully I'm going to keep my Mesa with me close by, connect to it regularly, of course, keep drinking cacao, and hopefully in the next couple of days I'll be back up and running properly. But yeah, thank you guys all for joining me, as always, and yeah, please connect, please put your light out, please be you. Be you with all your power, be you. And I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about mesas and these beautiful textiles that the Keru produce. I'm still blown away by the fact that these are all hand woven. I can't get my head around how someone A has the patience and B has the skill to do this. It's just it's such fine work. They should all be in museums, these cloths. They're just fabulous. Anyway, as always, thoughts, comments, very, very welcome. And wishing you all a good Friday, a happy day, a happy evening, depending on where you are in the world. Lots of health, lots of joy, and lots of connection. Have a good day, everyone. Lots of love.